Affordable housing is said to be one of the greatest challenges facing Nigeria. Reports say the country needs between 17 to 20 million housing units and a 900,000 annual unit increase to meet its housing needs, while the federal government says it will in the next 5 years invest 500 billion naira to bridge the housing deficit through the Family Homes Fund. Experts say government alone cannot meet the country's housing deficit. Some stakeholders say for more Nigerians to have access to affordable houses, the federal government need to make policies and ensure an enabling environment which attracts investors into the nation's housing sector. According to those who spoke to ONTV News, the challenges facing the housing sector are enormous. They said partnership between the public and private sector will help make Nigerians have access to affordable homes.
What I see as the key kind of elements is focusing on the collaboration between private and public sector, because government really needs to come to the party in terms of providing key infrastructure, looking at regulatory framework, incentivizing developers, etc. Because the capital's there, the private sector is willing to invest as long as they know that they've got a partner in the government and that they can make a return. So I think those two key things are elements. Once private sector knows that government are really invested in delivering and collaborating with the private sector in creating mass-scale affordable housing, then you'll see fundamental change. And I mean change, and what I say about partnership is that government needs to really come to the party in terms of providing infrastructure, providing the regulatory framework that allows investment and development, and really creating the policies that will allow developers and investors to deliver housing that is affordable to the masses.
We're a service provider, so we do not own the properties that we manage. A lot of our clients do that, and I can only then speak from the experiences that we've had. Our clients have engaged extensively with government to get the rights and the zoning and the correct approvals in place, and I can't say it's been an easy journey for some of them, but it's something that has been achieved and can be delivered with the right intervention and the right determination to bring the product to market.
There are two reasons why homes are very expensive in Nigeria. One is land, which the government can have an input on, and the other one is the cost of construction. And then there are ways in which construction can be changed or adapted in order to reduce the cost. And as I said earlier, we need to sort of boil down to what are the key elements that people want when they're looking for a home, especially affordable home. A lot of the developers are looking at luxury homes, swimming pools, squash courts, tennis courts, and all those sort of things. But the vast majority, the 90% of Nigerians, are not looking for that. They want something which is well built, which is watertight, which has good drainage, good plumbing, good lighting, and everything. And those things are what we should sort of focus on, and not focus on the other elements which are nice to have but are not sort of really essential.
They also called on the government to put in place policies to develop the Nigerian real estate sector.
There's challenges that are specific to countries. We're fortunate enough to get a good understanding of the different countries, but I think in Nigeria, I think the key bottlenecks to growth in terms of the real estate sector lie in infrastructure. I think it's an absolutely critical element in terms of spearheading the next phase of growth in the real estate sector, and also linked to our theme, it's a focus on delivering fundamentally good products that are affordable to the majority of Nigerians, so smaller businesses, your average Nigerian worker, etc. So creating more products that is affiliated and is, let's say, lays to their demand and caters to that demand. I think we've been too focused on creating assets, housing, offices, retail that are too pegged to the higher end and to the 0.5% of the whole of Nigeria, rather than focusing on the 99.5%.
The biggest challenges we've had is for the properties to be fully tenanted so that they can become viable products for investors to invest in. And really at the heart of our business lies the formalization of a property sector in Nigeria that property becomes an investment class, an investment grade asset, which will then attract more investors and will develop more jobs and create more opportunities for local people in the marketplace.
The aim and the goal when we look at the affordable housing is that it needs to be a pan-national thing. It needs to sort of cover all 36 states of the federation. Now, Lagos is probably the most has the most dynamic and real estate market, and that's where a lot of the banks and so financiers are focused. But that's not the that's not the end goal. Lagos is not where it needs to stop, but it has to start. It has to start somewhere, and I think that all the stakeholders probably feel more comfortable starting in Lagos. But I think that if the government is going to provide mortgage insurance, it needs to provide mortgage insurance for the whole nation. If there's going to be if states are going to provide discounted land prices for developers of affordable homes, it needs to be for the whole nation, because these key workers, the nurses, the teachers, the people that clean our public spaces and everything, we will notice them if they're not around. And do you want the person who's treating your mum in the hospital to have traveled 4 hours before they get to the hospital, and then they're falling asleep when they get there? These people have exactly the same concerns, whether you're in Lagos, you're in Rivers, you're in Jigawa, or where Port Harcourt or wherever. You have the same concerns, but it's something that has to start somewhere, and it's starting in Lagos.
Thank you. It is the belief of stakeholders in the housing sector that through the Family Homes Fund, more houses will be available to Nigerians at affordable prices.